Hello, everyone. Today we talk about the passive voice in English. And this is really something interesting and at the same time something important. A passive voice is usually sadly misunderstood especially by non-native speakers. I usually hear people say, try to avoid using the passive voice. Don't use the passive voice. We see how interesting, important the passive voice, and how even it's used sometimes in politics to cover and hide certain war crimes. Even we'll see this in a bit. Before we begin, I'll give you a chance to pause this video and look at these sentences and see which uh, actually all of them have mistakes, errors. Pause the video and just try to examine these sentences carefully and locate the grammatical mistake and fix it. Throughout the whole lecture, you can go back each time we talk and discuss these points. Okay, we'll move. So, generally speaking, there are two types of verbs. There is what we call transitive verbs, المتعدي in Arabic, and in English, the transitive verb can take either one object or two objects. And then there are the intransitive verbs, the verbs that don't take objects at all. They're لازم in Arabic. When you say, I saw Ali, Ali is object. When you say, I gave Ali a book, there are two objects here. Ali is number one, a book is number two. Now the rule is only transitive verbs can be turned into passive. Intransitive verbs, verbs without objects cannot be uh, changed into the passive voice. So this is rule number one. You have to look for the object in order to think about the passive voice. So the sentence, I saw Ali yesterday, passive can be Ali was seen yesterday. I gave Ali a book last week, can be turned into passive. We have two options here depending on what emphasis you want to highlight. I gave Ali a book has to be Ali, past simple, was given a book yesterday. Or a book was given to Ali yesterday. But look at these examples from the intransitive verbs. Something happened to him. There's no object here. We go to school on foot. There are no objects in these sentences, so they can't be turned into a passive. So, in order to change an active voice sentence to a passive voice sentence, rule number one, the object becomes the new subject. You take the object from wherever it is in the sentence, and you begin with this object. And then you use a verb to be. You have to use a verb. No verb to be, no passive. Sometimes you replace the verb to be with get. Instead of saying, I was lost, I got lost, it was lost, it got lost. So when we say appropriate verb to be, you need to pay attention to the tense, and you need to make sure whether this is plural or singular. So in terms of tense and in terms of singular or plural, because the verb to be could be am, is, are, for the present simple tense, am for I, is for he, she, it, are for you, they, was for past simple, were for past simple, to with plural, be with the modal verbs like have, will, can, must, shall, should. Been with the past participle, with a present or past, have, have gone, have eaten, has eaten, has eaten. Being with the continuous progressive tenses. And third, use the past participle of the main verb in the sentence. Look at this. Mary helped the boy. Mary subject, help the verb, boy is the object. We turn it into passive. The boy, we have to bring a verb to be. Now, this is something confusing. I'll highlight this in a bit. Students say, well, when do I use was or is or are, where or be or be? This depends on the tense itself. The tense here is past simple, so you have just two choices here, either was or were. But what makes it was or were? The new subject, not the old one. So the new subject is, if the sentence is originally Mary and Sarah held the boy, the sentence will still be the boy was held by Mary and Sarah. Why? Because the new object here is singular. If the original sentence is the boy held Mary and Sarah, turn it into passive. Pay attention here, you have a new subject here. The new subject is Mary and Sarah. Past simple, was or were, because Mary and Sarah, plural, were held by the boy if you have to use it. And this table here from your book summarizes everything you need to know about things. Actually, really interesting. But because in Arabic we usually don't use the verb, there's no verb to be in Arabic, we usually forget to use it. So some people say, the window broken. No, you say the window was broken. Or the broken window was repaired. You don't say the broken window repaired. So Mary helps the boy. The boy is helped by Mary. So helps is present. So we use am, is, or are. If the sentence says Mary helps me, and me is the object, it becomes the subject of the new sentence. You say I am helped by Mary. Mary is helping, is being helped. The same tense has to remain as it is. You don't change the tense. That's why you use different verbs. Mary has helped, has been helped. Helped, was helping, was being helped. Will help, will be helped. Is going to help, is going to be helped. Will have helped, will have been helped. And the same thing you do, the same thing you do when this is a question or and when this is a negative. It doesn't matter. It's the same. So I'm counting here again, more examples. They broke the window. The window is, sorry, they break the window, present simple. The window is broken. The new subject is window. But look at this same sentence, but with a different object here that becomes a new subject plural. So they break the windows. The windows are broken. They are breaking the window. The window is being broken. They are breaking the windows. The windows are being broken. They will break the window or the windows, doesn't matter. It's the same because here will doesn't change. It's plural or singular. The windows will be broken. They broke the window, past simple. So here, broke is past. We always think theoretically of either was or were. Because the new subject is singular, the window was broken. But they broke the windows were broken. They have broken the window has been broken. Pay attention here. Some students might not get this right because they have and they might say the window have been broken. Don't forget that the new subject determines the verb after it. So here they have, we have because they, but we have has because window is singular. They have broken the windows. The windows plural. We have. The windows have been broken. They had broken the window. With had nothing changes. It just adds being. They had broken. The window had been broken. The same thing you can do it here, but I'm adding something interesting because some might not get this right. She tells me a story. Again, remember, it takes two objects here. She tells me. Me is the first object. A story is the second object. Me is object. If you want to make this into a passive, starting with me has to change because the subject form of me is not me, it's I. And the suitable verb to be for I is am. You have to use one. I am told a story every night, or a story is told to me every night. She tells me stories. Stories are told to me, etc. More examples here. More examples and explanations. More examples and explanations here. Now this is very interesting. I have like 5 exercises here. You can look at them. Change the passive. Change into passive. Tom opens the window. So number one, is there an object? Yes. Sorry. Tom opens the door. The door is object. So we can start with this. The door. Now what tense is this? This is present simple tense. So we directly think of either am is are, but because the door is it, we go for is. The door is opened. If you have to use by Tom, go for it. Sometimes you don't have to say by Tom because the whole idea sometimes behind the passive voice is to hide the subject, the person who did it. But sometimes to give emphasis for the new subject because the new subject that has been an object. So the door is more important. The door being open is more important than who did it and so on. So again, same sentence. Tom is opening the door. The door. Now the tense is opening. Present continuous. It has to remain as it is. Present continuous or present. But with this, we use in order to keep the tense as it is. We use being. So the door is being opened by Tom. Again, if you have to use it. Now look at this sentence. If the sentence is Tom is opening the doors, so again, the new subject is plural. The doors are being opened. Interesting. So I remember at school, teachers would try to trick us all the time. Let's say, for example, I remember the sentence that was like 1993. The government is building new towers. Turn into passive. Now the government is, sometimes you say the government are. The government is, the government is the subject, is building continuous, present continuous. New towers, a branch, is the object here. So when you make it to passive, new towers, because new towers is plural, you don't say is, you go for are. New towers are being built. Isn't that interesting? Tom has opened the door. The door has. You always use been with the present perfect and the past perfect. You always use being with the continuous tenses, with the present or past or future. Tom has opened the door. The door has been opened. If it is that Tom has opened the doors have been opened. Tom opened the door, past simple, the door was open. Tom opened the doors were open. Now, again, some student might say, can I say the door was open? Yep, yes, you can. But this is not passive, this is an adjective. The door was open, open is an adjective. So to make it passive, it has to be the door was open. I'm giving you an exercise here, but look at this is a very interesting exercise. Change the passive into active and change the active into passive. Take your time and do this exercise, exercise number 2. Exercise number 3 is the same thing. Change the passive into active and change the active into passive. Now, again, why we use this is important for you. Why do we use the passive? Sometimes for sentence variety. Just you want to change a little bit. You don't want to go for subject starting with who did what or what did what. So you change. But sometimes you use it, like I probably just mentioned in passing, when the object is more important. We want to emphasize the object, highlight the object, or when the subject is not known. It doesn't necessarily have to be, by the way, passive. For example, if you find a window broken, because the window is broken or was broken, but you can still do it in the active voice by saying somebody broke the window. So when we want to draw attention to the person or the thing that was affected by the action of the subject rather than the subject himself, herself, or itself, you go for the person. The unidentified victim was run over by a speeding truck. We don't know that here two reasons. We don't know who did it, who the perpetrator is. We want to emphasize the helpless, unidentified. The passive voice is also preferred in cases where, again, the doer, the person, the thing that does the action is not as important as the object in particular context. So the pyramids were built around 400 AD, annotationally before Christ. Now, if you're watching a documentary or reading an article about who built the pyramids, there will always be sentences like aliens built the pyramids, the Egyptians built the pyramids, something the Jews built the pyramids. But generally speaking, pyramids here are more important. Unless you are, after the mystery of who on earth built these miracles, these wonders. My house was built in 2011. Probably here you don't want even to mention who did it. It was built in. This olive oil was imported from Spain. Who imported it? I don't care. I care about the olive oil itself, and probably that it is from Spain. Who imported it? Is only secondary to what I care about. Sometimes we don't know who the subject or what the subject is. My laptop was stolen. If I know who stole it, I'd be running after them. 20 civilians were killed in the bomb explosion. You could say that the bomb explosion killed, but again, it's the man, the person, the people, the terrorists behind the explosion that we are after. Now look at this really important and significant thing I like to highlight usually in translation courses and sometimes in poetry. In politics, you would notice how Israeli news agencies, Harris, American pro-Israeli, pro-occupation news agencies, TVs, websites, CNN, BBC, Sky News, Fox, will always be siding with Israel, with the occupation. So what they do is usually they hide the subject, the doer, the perpetrator, in order to hide the truth, what is called whitewashing. So they hide the doer of the action. The passive voice here is used because of ideological and political reasons. Look at these expressions, sentences. 3 Palestinians were killed in Gaza. Who killed them? Did they just die out of boredom? Did they kill themselves? Was it an accident? What happened? It doesn't say here. Palestinian journalist dies in Gaza. This was one of the worst news headlines I have ever read in my life when Yasser Murtaja was killed by Israeli snipers, despite the fact that he was a journalist, clearly marked as press. And even look, it doesn't say Palestinian journalist killed in Gaza. It's horrible. I think this was Reuters. Horrible news headline. Unprofessional. He didn't die just out of boredom. He didn't just kill himself. He was killed by Israeli snipers. So here, instead of saying Israel kills, Israeli snipers kill, shoot dead, they hide the doer for political reasons. And this was also infuriating in Iraq, because America was spreading democracy to Iraq. So it would be like bombs fall on Iraq. What? Who's throwing them? Angels? Aliens? Other planets? Stars? Clouds? So over here, the Americans are hidden because the news is hiding the truth. So again, the actual perpetrator, the doer, is hidden for political reasons. Therefore, pay attention. While it's interesting to use the passive once in a while, here and there, for particular reasons mentioned above, sometimes Palestinians and other oppressed people are advised to use the active voice in such situations to expose the actions of the occupation and the murderers and the criminals. So Israel killed 3 Palestinians. Israeli snipers killed Palestinian journalists. America bombed Iraq. Now, sometimes you don't have to use by, but sometimes you want to differentiate between who did what. So this rug was made by my grandmother, but that rug was made by my mother. So to differentiate between who did what. But generally speaking, you could say, for example, this rug was made in China. I don't care who did it. Hamlet was written by Shakespeare. Shakespeare wrote Hamlet. Men in the Sun was written by Rassan Kanfani wrote. So yeah, even if say Hamlet was written, if you say, for example, Hamlet was written in 1602, here, because I think I did mention this before, sometimes we use the passive when the action is, the doer is already known. You don't have to mention it. Everybody knows it. It's a given. Like Hamlet was written in 1602. You don't have to say Shakespeare sometimes, because if you don't know that Shakespeare wrote Hamlet, that's really crazy. So I'm giving you another exercise here, but I'm helping you with that verb. Pay attention. For example, so like remember, you have to use a verb to be, always a verb to be in the passive voice, and then the past participle. So penicillin by Alexander Fleming in 1928. Because this is past, in 1928 is a time marker for the past, should be discovered. So the verb to be has to be was, because penicillin is singular. Penicillin was discovered by Alexander Fleming in 1928. Now, one interesting point here is something again that students usually confuse: ed versus ing adjective. I know many students here in Gaza would say you use ed for people and ing for things. That's not accurate. That's okay, but not accurate. Ed adjectives describe the recipient, the receiver of an action, the object, the doing. Because to receive action, you have to have feelings and emotions. You have to be human being. So almost always human. But the ing, look at this. The ing adjectives describe the doer, the perpetrator of an action, the thing or the person or the human or the animal that do something to others. Again, notice, I know schools would tell you that only things use ing adjectives. But yeah, but animals and humans can use ing adjectives. So the story I'm using is children, meaning the story is amusing, or the children are amused by the story, or they are amused children. So the story is amusing because it's the subject, the doer of the action. The children are the receivers of this thing. So children are amused. They are amused children. Now look at this significant differentiation. The teacher is bored. He is tired, exhausted. He's had enough. But the teacher is boring. It means, yes, this is correct too. The teacher is boring. He is not a good teacher. He makes students bored. Same, the movie is frightening, correct? Because it's a scary movie. It's about, about snakes, about somebody losing his piece of pizza. That would be scary. But yeah, you can say the man is frightening. can say that because he looks horrible because of what he says, because of what he does. So in your exam, I could ask you to tell me the difference between uh, my friend is bored and my friend is boring. My friend is bored means he's had enough, he wants to do different things, he's exhausted, he's tired. But you could say, my friend is boring. He keeps repeating the same stories, he keeps saying the same thing, he keeps doing the same things. Like, come on. So he's the source of boredom here. Okay, if you have questions, you can always ask. It would be interesting if you go to your book, Understanding and Using English Grammar, and do also the exercises, pages 224, 226, 230, 240. Thank you for now. Good luck.